Hello, myself Sunil Ramakrishnan Nair. Basically, this is 126th number part, basically, which is ongoing, which is connected with the formula. So here, basically, we are discussing how earthquakes are connected with passports, Aadhaar cards, and PAN cards, basically. So in India, basically, the unique identification is Aadhaar card and PAN card, and outside India, basically, the unique identification is passport. So basically, Indian government says that it's for Indian origin. Basically, the Aadhaar card and PAN card will work basically. But other than Indian people, basically, you have to show the passport. Basically. So this is the identification basically of the of each and every unique person. Basically, you can say. So like this same way, basically, in power company and energy companies and nuclear plant, basically, each and every person unique identification is there, and their identification are basically the energies basically, that you can say the blood groups basically, the blood cells basically, you can say. So that is the basically unique identification of each and every person basically, you can say. So like this this is the unique identification proof basically for the each and every single person basically. So here basically we are discussing about the earthquakes basically, how basically the passports, Aadhaar cards and the PAN cards are basically connected with the earthquake basically. And here one more thing basically, you can add one more question basically, that is sixth number question, that is basically that is basically in front of world and not in front of world basically. That is basically earthquake definition of in front of world is basically, that is basically the set of tectonic plates basically, you can say, connected with set of tectonic plates, but not in front of public. That is basically the energies basically, which are basically sent by the World Bank basically, World Energy Bank basically, to each and every cities. So whenever the energy basically is sent by the World Bank to the cities, that time basically the set of energy gets to the sets to the environment basically. So according to that, basically earthquake happens and earthquake does not happens. But in front of public, basically what is that? That is basically the tectonic plates basically. So tectonic plates basically you can't do anything. So that is basically natural basically, which is basically set in front of public basically. So tectonic plates are basically natural. That means basically it's created by the, when the Earth planet was created. That time basically, that time the tectonic plates was created. But in real, how it is, that is basically the uh, energy banks basically, you can say, which is basically energy banks. We can give this name basically, energy bank, World Energy Bank basically, which is basically controlled by the World Bank basically, because World Bank is connected with the each and every country's prime minister residence basically, because they sets the subscription, and according to that subscription basically the energies are set to the cities basically, and according to that energy set basically each and every environment basically handles basically. For example, there are many subscription basically, you can say. We can take few examples basically, like 10% of one subscription says that 10 percentage people will get disease, 10 percentage people will get disease, like this 90 percentage people will be going to be safe, according to the data as passed by the each and every cities basically. So like this area will be going to come little bit earthquakes, that area will not going to come little bit not going to come an earthquake. So like this basically, the this area will basically will be going to be get some air pollution basically. In that area basically it's not going to get air pollution. So like this basically, according to the money given by the central government, the subscription has taken basically, that you can say basically. So the subscription has basically taken from the central government. So basically only central government have a authority, that is basically prime minister have a authority to set the environment of the each and every cities. So here basically, here the main thing is basically the Indian government basically, you can say that Indian government should have a knowledge basically, you can say, because which type of environment data basically the World Bank is sending basically, you can say. So this detail basically World Bank will never, mostly will never give basically, but indirect information they can give basically, that is basically few people will get disease, because exact data basically they can't give basically, because it's a secret basically policy basically, you can say this area will get will get some problem, that area will not get problem, because the money basically subscription amount basically that has been paid to the World Bank basically, that's a basically not small amount, it's a big amount basically, you can say. So to basically to secure the country basically, it's also very. I have taken one example basically, to pass 24 hours to the government basically, it's not so easy task basically. So this is the one of the 24 hours basically, you can say, where basically the government is paying the subscription money to the World Bank basically, you can say, so that the country can be safe, country can be, so to secure the country basically, lots of things basically has happened. This all basically things are basically hidden, which never disclosed in front of public basically, because if this all things basically will get displayed in front of public basically, then basically no public is going to have a good day basically, you can say, because government is telling you have a nice life basically, we will handle each and everything basically. This is like basically Bollywood group basically, the Bollywood group says that we are doing each and every stuff for you, you just enjoy the life, means enjoy the life, like this basically Bollywood groups are telling that. So like this basically you can say that, here basically we are discussing about not about the enjoying the life, here we are discussing about the data basically which is basically getting passed to the World Bank basically, passed to the World Bank by set of energy groups, because World Bank is also one of the way basically from the data is going getting passed basically. So here basically World Bank might be is also connected with a set of basically nuclear plants, nuclear data, nuclear power plants, energy plants. So like this basically you can say each and every data are also basically connected. So here basically we are not going to go into so much deep basically, otherwise if we will go too deep basically, then basically we will connect to the set of satellites. Satellites are basically passing the data to the nuclear plants, then basically that satellite basically is from where basically they are getting passed, they are passing the data from where basically, from where basically they are getting data, then we will reach to set of again basically set of satellites, then basically we'll reach to set of galaxies, then we will reach to set of planets, then we will reach to set of many planets basically, like this basically it's a huge chain basically. So we will not go so deep basically, but the things are basically, if anybody want to find some exact solution, then basically they have to go to very deep, like this only basically the satellites are created, the set of space center are created to know the exact basically from where like, each and every things are getting controlled. So for that basically if we are thinking up to that level, then basically the world is created long before basically 100 200 1,000 to 1,000 years before basically. So lots of things basically might have found also basically from the galaxy, from the satellites, from the space. So like this basically here basically we are discussing about the earthquakes. Earthquake basically are connected with the passports, energy bar, passports, Aadhaar cards, and the PAN card basically. So here we are discussing about the unique identification of each and every person. So here we will take few energies basically, which World Bank have, and on the base of that energy only the World Bank is controlling the earthquakes basically, you can say. So here basically this is one of the type basically of the earthquakes, or one of the type of the data basically which is sent by the World Bank to control the earthquake basically. So you can say that if every half an hour they are changing the data basically, then also it would not be wrong basically. Every half an hour this data is getting added, that data is getting added, data is getting removed from the energy, from the cities, that data is getting added, like this basically add subtraction basically keeps on happening every half an hour, every hour, every 2 hour. So like this, basically, we are not going and to up to the deep, basically, up to what, because these are also basically secrets basically of the World Bank, basically, because World Bank is taking money from the each and every country. So basically, that's their income basically. So nobody will disclose the income, basically, you can say, the secrets basically, you can say. So like this, we are not going into so deep basically. So here we are discussing about the World Bank basically, who have the set of data. So here basically we are discussing one of the data which will cover mostly each and everything basically. So here first data is basically the God energies data. God energies data means that in this world basically there are many God families basically, you can say, who says that, who says basically actually that they are basically God families. So for assume that each and every God family count is basically um, more than some lakhs basically, more than crores basically. So like this God families data are taken, so that the whenever they are sending this type of data, then basically the earthquake will not happen. Then basically another for data is God energy groups data basically. God energy groups means who basically doing fast, who believes in God, who basically says that we believe in lot of God, who go to the temples, who says that we are doing this puja, that puja, we are going to masjids, we are going to church, we are going to Parsi places, we are going to Jain temples, we are doing this, we are doing that, we are doing this type of fasting, we are doing that, we are reading this type of books basically. So those people data basically, you can say. So this is one of the energy. Then basically the this all are basically positive energy basically, you can say. Now basically the negative energies basically, you can say, that is basically the bad energy basically, who says that we don't believe in God, we don't believe in God, we don't believe in God. So like that data basically, you can say. Then basically very bad energy. Very bad means they says that we don't believe at all in this. Few people says that we little bit believe, but few people say we don't believe in God. So like this data are also basically collected by the World Bank basically. So the World Bank is telling we have each and every data basically. So each and every data basically are set to the each and every cities, and due to that energy is only basically the earthquake is not able. So stable energy, you can say basically, which is created long before basically, which is directly connected with the satellites data also basically. So this data which basically I have just discussed basically, that with data basically is there in the satellites also basically, you can say, and which is connected with the nuclear plants, energy plants and power plants basically. So like this all data basically are in the satellites also. So whenever the God energies basically are sent by the subscription group, basically that is basically the World Bank group, in certain areas basically, you can say, there basically earthquake will not happen. So this is just one of the type of earthquake and not earthquake. Non-earthquake basically, you can say. Non-earthquake means earthquake will not happen. So this is basically one of the metrics, basically one of the little bit metrics basically, which is set in the environment. That is basically God energy data. Then basically the God groups data basically. God groups data means who believe in God, who says that we are doing fasting, who says that we have done lots of fast, who says that we read lots of books of the God basically, like these people basically, their data basically are sent to the each and every cities basically. Then basically bad energy. Here basically the it's a positive energy. So positive energy means the earthquake will not happen. So this is just one of the metrics basically. Like this basically earthquake is non earthquake will not happen. That matrix basically it's a big matrix basically. And so here basically we are just discussing one of the small matrix, that is just this all energy basically. Now basically the another energies are bad energies. If this data are passed to the cities basically, then basically little bit earthquake will happen. So that data basically the World Bank have, that which bad data basically are they passing, due to that basically the energies are getting fast basically. Then it's a very bad people when when their energy basically connects to the cities basically, then basically the big earthquake happens. That is basically 100% sure. So like this basically, few people basically are not supposed to enter the cities also basically. Like this, due to this reason only basically you can say that is basically earthquake reason. So few people can enter the city because they believe in God, they believe in um, lots of things basically. So like this basically the things are basically connected. So this was a little bit about the passport, Aadhaar card, and PAN card basically. We are going to discuss little bit more about in next part, but basically that is 127th part basically.